Hello everyone. So welcome to my class. And as we know, we today we are here for simulation of communication system using MATLAB as a tutorial. So in the first week, we have seen that there not much material for you to go through it. But yeah, there's some enough. There are some minimal components that you have to look for. So today, I'll tell you like how can you start the simulation of communication system using MATLAB, and then we will see how to solve the problems related to it, and how to use it properly for your simulation purpose. And I hope only three students have joined today, so I'm waiting for some more students to join. My schedule was yesterday, but it has been changed every Saturday, 6 to 8. So there are two TAs, me and another girl is there. We as a PMRF TA, we have to take the tutorial sessions. And in this tutorial means that you have to ask us the question as a live session. And this will be 2 hours and you can ask the questions very freely without any hesitation. And yes, so this is all about me. And I'm from IIT Hyderabad and my name is Anu. So would love to host you. So there are some students I would like to ask about you, like what is your background and like what is your plan? What is the motivation for joining this course? Uh, so I would like to start with the Lochin. Uh, Hi Lochin.
Hello.
Yeah, can you please tell me about you?
Yeah, my name is Lochin Dawar. Obviously, you have read it till now. So I joined this course because I wanted to study like MATLAB and everything. Because I'm now in tier 3 college, so I wanted to just
Okay,
improve my
so you will
skills.
give the exam, right? And you are BTech student?
Yes, yes. I'm a student of BTech in electrical engineering.
That's great. Okay. You are in which year?
I'm in third year right now.
Okay, okay. That's great. Okay, nice. And nice. So Malamiti.
Hello,
Hi,
ma'am.
Malamiti. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I'm Malaimadi from Tamil Nadu, Government College of Engineering, Salem.
Okay. You are in which year?
Third year, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So both of you are crediting this course, right? So you will give exam.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. That's great. Mhm. So I'm just waiting for some other students to join. I don't know whether they'll join or not, but some few minutes. Himanshi. Okay, Himanshi, can you please introduce yourself? Just a short bio. Hi, Himanshi. So basically, the live sessions are scheduled in such a way that you guys should interact with us, and the questions are also very normal in the first week. So that's why I have come with some interactive material for you for the first week. So I could see the people here. Uh, so yeah, Himanshi, can you please tell us about you, like Lochan and Malamaiti told? Just a short intro. Okay. Abhi, can you please tell us about you? Just a short intro. Okay, I think we should not wait more than this. Okay. So basically the programming languages, if we talk about, there are certain type of languages. First of high level languages, which first came in 1954, which is a Fortran. Okay. To make the programming easy, specifically to solve the numerical problems. Now also we have this Fortran, but not much people are not using this. But today's languages, if we see, it consists of the for commercial, which is a string wrapped or large complex programs like it is super helpful in runtime, which is C++ and Java, C hash, all the C. terms, etc. But in order to solve the problem mathematically, to make it programming easier and to solve the numerical problems like if we can represent the large number of equations in the form of matrices. So that type of language is called MATLAB. So in electrical engineering, we generally solve the mathematical problem using MATLAB, as well as we simulate the communication system. The communication system is nothing but a system which helps to communicate, okay, to send the data and to receive the data. So in that we have several layers. If we talk about the OS side, then we have physical layer, a data link layer, network layer, transport layer, and then finally a presentation layer, session layer, and the application layer. So this is the basic layer. Okay. So in every device which is communicating, for example, you have phone. Okay. So this phone also have the set of standard. Okay. So that is called OSI. In that, the basic, which is the last layer, which is the physical layer. So in order to model the physical layer, this MATLAB programming language is required. So in that case, after 1970s, when we wanted to simulate the communication system, specifically this physical layer, then after that math layer also simulations there in MATLAB. But if you go to higher layer, then we generally model using the simulation softwares like NS3 that is written in C++ and Python. So that is a virtual simulator kind of thing. So in that case, it is required. Okay. So for if you're asked like if you're asked which communication system model, which layer this MATLAB is super helpful, so you have to answer the physical layer. In the physical layer, we have certain blocks of the communication system. Okay. So if we talk about the blocks, okay. So what is a block? Basic block. So first we have the source, then source encoding, modulation, then basic we have the channel, then demodulation, then denoising, and finally we have the receiver. Okay, we have certain analog to digital converter and source encoding, channel encoding. The certain types of other blocks are also there. So basic blocks is this one. So this block which I am talking about, modulation, demodulation, then the channel, these things are modeled using MATLAB. So our basic aim is to study about those only. Okay. So if we see about the MATLAB history, because in the first week, there's not much about it, but if we see about the MATLAB history, so the MathWorks, which was formed in 1984, and the one product was MATLAB. So now students are joining. I have already started. So okay. Can I change the setting where I can allow all the students who want to join without asking me? Accessibility. Give me a second. So I have admitted all the students who are requesting me in the lobby. So if you have any doubt, you can just unmute yourself and ask. This live session aim is to have, wait, there are some more students joining. So please bear this for the first live session only. In the next live session, I will have the settings where I can allow all the students because I could not see now. Monica, would you like to tell anything? Your mic is unmuted. So Monica, I'm just muting yourself if you don't want to say anything. If you want to say anything, you just tell. Okay, so we have total 6 attendees. Okay, so I think we have the introduction for almost Malai Maita, Monica, Banot Himanshi. Banot, would you like to tell Aryan Kanu? Okay, so we have total 7 attendees. So, Aryan, would you like to tell us about you, like in which year, the short introduction, since this is a first class? So you have to attend, you guys have to attend the whole 12-week class. Okay? And believe me, it will be super helpful. Okay, so anyone would like to tell us about you? Like Banod, Lojan already told. Monica, Trinath, anyone? If no one would tell, then I would proceed. So recently Sundar has joined. Sundar, would you like to tell us about you? I think I couldn't hear your voice. Your mic is on, but I think you're not telling anything. So anyone can confirm me, am I audible or not?
Yes, ma'am, audible.
Okay, Trina, thank you so much. So, okay. So in the first week, I was telling about what is the motivation to join the course. And I hope you all are from the electrical and electronics background. And anyone who is from also CSE background will be super helpful. So basically, if the communication system, if we say the physical layer, to model the physical layer, the MATLAB comes into the picture. That's why the course name itself is Simulation of Communication System using MATLAB. So we will see the modulation, demodulation techniques, uh, all those modulation, demodulation techniques, which are analog modulation, digital modulation, then some physical layer techniques, source encoding, channel encoding, all those things we will see in this course. So the first week was only about the format of the MATLAB and how the MATLAB is written, how the flow control is organized. So that's why I just came with some brief introduction of the MATLAB. In the next week, live session, we will definitely see some of the more aspects from the communication point of view, communication system point of view. So, okay, I was telling about the MATLAB history. So basically, if you want to use MATLAB, you have to install the MATLAB. And if you are from the institute, you will have the free license. Otherwise, MATLAB is not free. But yeah, you can also have some pirated software. But I think if you all are from some institute, you can have the license. So anyone who doesn't have MATLAB installed in the system, so how to install this is in the system also, it's a big question. If you have any question, you can ask. So for the Windows, you can directly type MATLAB for download and we can have the several options for the Windows. So if you have 8-bit, 16-bit, you have to download like that. But if you have Ubuntu, you have to refer some YouTube video because we will have the several options. We have to we will have to configure some of the settings. In order to have that, then only you have to download. So like that, you have to download the MATLAB. So for the first thing, before learning the MATLAB, you install the MATLAB. Okay. Once you install the MATLAB, then we can have these things. Okay. Initially, when the MATLAB found, it was only having one product. Okay. But now there are 100 products and over 1,000,000 users. Okay. That is also taught in 5,000 universities. So that is very famous. That's why we are also learning the MATLAB. Okay, so this IEEE gave Cleaver Moller its annual Computer Pioneer Award. Okay, Pioneer Award. This award was given for improving the quality of the mathematical software, making it more accessible and creating the MATLAB. So I think this is only about this. It's a computer science also. So we approach MATLAB programming language as a part of the computer science, and we will use the concept and the vocabulary of the computer science to introduce the computer programming. Okay. There are so many students also joining. Okay. So in order to have, we have to get the MATLAB. I think that is also free. And if you want to refer some book, so many students in my previous classes used to ask like how to have some good book. So you can refer this computer programming MATLAB. Okay. So some basics are there. I'll go to the next. So can anyone tell me what is the full form of MATLAB? What is the full form of MATLAB? So, you know why this live session has organized? Just to have the introduction, just to have the live interaction. Can anyone tell me what is the full form of MATLAB? I think that is not a tough thing. Can
Mathematics
anyone tell
laboratory
me?
or something.
Yeah, very nice. Okay. So nice. So someone told that is a matrix laboratory. That is very good. So that's why we will start with the matrix and operations. First, so what is matrix? So if we arrange the scalars in the form of array, then it is called vector. Okay. Now if you arrange vector in the form of vector, then it is called matrices. We will see it more clearly. Okay. Some basic command is CLC, clear command. So if you write CLC, it will clear all the all those things you have already written the command window. Okay. And if you want to keep the things very compact. Okay, so you have to write format compact to look the short. And if you want to quit the any program, so it is quit. So this semicolon means that it will not show the output. Okay, and if you remove the semicolon, it will show the output. For example, if you put a is equals to 5. Okay, so if you put the semicolon, it will keep only in the workspace, not show in the command window. Okay, but if you put not semicolon, then it will show in the command window. So that is a basic difference between semicolon and non-semicolon. Okay. So if we go to the introduction of arrays and matrices, so arrays is any set of numbers arranged in a rectangular pattern. Okay. For example, a page with 6 rows of 4 numbers, each is two-dimensional array. So suppose a page is there. Okay. And with we having 6 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And 6 rows of 4 numbers, each is a two-dimensional array. So if we have each row with some values, okay, then it is again an array. So that's what I told. Matrix is also array with element as 2D. Okay. So for example, a stack of such pages. Okay. Any set of numbers arranged in a rectangular pattern. So suppose this one is there, and if we put 1, 2, 3, suppose if we keep like books. So three-dimensional example is also there. Okay. So higher dimensions are actually uncommon. The most common have the special names, which is 2D array. That's why I told. Which has elements as 2D. The 2D array is called matrix. Okay, plural is matrices. And 1D array is called vector, the standard term. Okay. And the MATLAB stands for matrix laboratory, as someone told. Okay. And if we see the graph, so if we have My screen is not this. So sorry, I think my system went to sleep. Yeah. So we will again resume. So if we see the scalars, so the set of scalars is actually the vectors, and the set of vectors actually the matrices, and all this comes under the umbrella of arrays. Okay. So 2D arrays is called matrices, 1D arrays is called vectors. Okay. So yeah, for this course to be very understandable, you should have the basic knowledge in probability and linear algebra. So if you don't have also, we will see. You can ask me anything. So if you want to initialize a matrix, so this is the 2D array. So how will you initialize? Okay. And also the MATLAB indices starts with 1, not 0. So it starts with 0 in C++ and Python, but not in MATLAB. Okay. So if we see 1 to 4, okay. So 1 to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is semicolon, the next row. 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So in this way, you can describe a initializer matrix. Okay. So this is the initialization. Since the semicolon is there, so it will not show in the command window. I hope this is understandable. So this is the column. That means 1, 2, 3, 4. We can also put like this 1, 2, 4, 2. So what does this mean? It means that you will have 1, 4, because this is the difference after which you have to repeat. Okay, 1, sorry, 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. Till will it go to 4? No, it will not go because you will have only up to 4. So if nothing is there, then 1 to 4 directly you have to assume. Okay. So now this is columns. Okay. This is rows 1, 2, 3. This is columns 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the columns. And if one is asked size, the basic function, I will tell you the basic function. You remember all those basic functions. Today I will give you the chart of the basic function. You remember all those basic functions because that is very, very important to understand. So if you ask size of this x, so this will be 3, 4 as output. Okay. And if x is 5, size of x is MATLAB looks everything as a matrix. So that's why size of x is 3, 4. It keeps the output as also in the form of matrix. And if suppose x is 5, simple scalar. Okay. So what will be the size of this? It will be 1 cross 1. Okay. It will be 1 cross 1. This will be 1, 1. It will not show this braces, but yeah, the output will be 1, 1. You can verify, okay? Or else I can also share the screen in MATLAB and we will see, okay? But right now, let's see with the basic function, then we will see in the MATLAB itself. So size of x will be 3, 4, and this one with 1, 1. So what we can, observation we have seen is MATLAB looks everything as a matrix. Now, if you want to have the particular element, okay, why I'm starting with the matrix? Because the matrix is the basic thing to learn the MATLAB. And in 1, 2 weeks, we will definitely see with the basics of everything as a MATLAB function. Then we can code by ourselves also. Okay. Now, if one is asked 2, 3, so how will you go? 1, 2, 3. This is the 2 is the second row and third is the column. So which one is the answer? Answer is 7. Okay. Now array additions. So since MATLAB sees everything as a matrix, okay, so how can you add everything? So if you have two matrices, A plus B, so it will add as an element by element, okay? One element of A will be added to one element of B. Similarly, one element of X will be added to one element of Y, as we can see here, okay? So this is a basic function we can see here. Now matrix multiplication. So how basic matrix multiplication works? So we know that the 7 rules comes into the picture. How the 7 rules? You have A and B. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how the matrix multiplication works? How it will works? So I'll give you the basic example. This 7. Okay. This 7. Now let's see how the 7 works. 1 cross 2 plus 2 cross 7. This way. And also, this is 2 cross 2, this is 2 cross 2. So if you have m cross n, then n cross p, this is the basic thing that the column of the first matrix should match with the row of the second matrix. Then only the matrix multiplication possible. Otherwise, will not be possible. And the result will be n cross p. Okay, this is a basic thing. Now, if we want to have the answer, so this is 1 cross 5, 5 plus 40. This is 19. Answer is 19. This is this one. Someone is joining. Sanjay Mobia. Okay, I have admitted all. Okay, so this is one. Next answer is 1 cross 6 plus 2 cross 8. This is 6 plus 16, 22. So answer is 22. Now the second row. So how I'm targeting? 7. Okay, 7 means first row, then all columns. Second row, then all columns, like that. Okay. I hope you will not have any problem in the matrix multiplication. Still I'm solving. 5 plus 4 into 7. 15 plus 28. This will be 3, 43. Okay. And again, this last one. So how it will be? 3 into 6 plus 4 into 8. This will be 18 plus. Who is from me? Anyone have a problem? Yes, Sanjay. Are you telling anything? 38. Okay, so in this way, matrix multiplication works. So the basic thing is how you're multiplying.
One doubt, if you want element by element, you have to do x dot y, is it? If you want to just multiply, but
Yeah. So that will not be considered as matrix multiplication. That will be a dot product.
Okay.
Yeah, that will be dot product. So in that case, you can have the dot if you want element by element. So basically how it is working. So you're multiplying with every row with provided this k is common, okay, for all k. So this is the basic formula. Inner dimensions of x and y must be same. Inner means this dimension, okay. This is a basic thing. And if you want to divide it, okay. So this should be very much clear in our mind, because sometimes we get confused. This forward slash or the backward slash, we always get confused. Okay, let's see. So this backward slash means that for each m and n, this will be x by m and n. Okay, this means that for each, this one is y by x. So backward is actual. You have to remember. If forward is there, this is backward. Okay. Forward is there, the opposite will act. Okay. Since this is dot, so every time it will be element by element. Okay. Backward is actual division. Okay. So you can try all this on your own. Okay. So matrix division is a complicated concept in linear algebra. So we are not covering it here. Okay. Precedence. So in basic mathematics also we have the precedence term. So if we have addition, this order doesn't matter with addition. But if we have this multiplication and addition and division or all those things, now how the precedence works. So you have to remember this. I will share this materials in the Google Drive. I think it will be shared to you also in NPTEL. So these things you remember. This is very important precedence. First, parenthesis will be solved. Okay. Then exponential or transpose will be solved. Then unary operators will be solved. Unary means bitwise based. Okay. And then multiplication division in case of array and matrices. Then finally addition and subtraction. The last one is a colon operator. Okay. Last is the colon. I think if you don't take this seriously, then you will end up in having the wrong answers. Okay, let's see some associativity property. So here the order doesn't matter with addition and multiplication the same as, because it's the same. Y is equals to A, uh, this one, or okay, this is okay, or B or C is same as A or B or C. is not same actually. In programming, the order in which the operators of the same precedence are executed is called associativity. Okay, for example, A plus B plus C is equals to A plus B plus C. So the same operators are there, but in a different order. So this property is called associativity. So, so suppose in MATLAB it is left to right, okay? So same as this one, left to right. So first this one is solved, then this is solved. Okay, so first A or B is solved, then the result will be solved to C. So MATLAB is having left to right. If you solve the same thing right to left, then it is wrong, okay? Left to right, you remember this. Okay, what we have to remember in this thing, first of all, precedence, left to right, and also MATLAB, everything is treated as matrices. So we have seen the basics of this. Now we are seeing going to the different lesson. Lesson 2. Now we will see some other functions. Okay. We have seen why MATLAB has come. What is the full form of MATLAB? We have seen the basic operations such as array, vectors, and matrices. Now we will see the functions. Okay. So what is basically the function? Okay. So function in MATLAB is defined as a function square brackets is out argument 1, out argument 2, dot, dot, dot. How many arguments you can have, this you can keep here. In a function name, I mean this way, this is the input to the function. Okay, so we can have example functions, function, func in. So in this way, in this function, you don't have any output argument as well as input argument. You don't have anything. You have in this function, you have how many? You have 2 input arguments. You have 1 output argument. In this output argument, in the sense is this is will return this output. Okay, so if you want to print it also, you can print it. If you keep like this, you can print it. So in this way, you will have 2 output arguments. In this, you have 2 output argument and 2 input argument. Okay. So in function names also, we have to keep the meaningful names that tells you something about your function does. Do not use some existing names such as plot, sum, square, sin, and all those things. So we will see which are the basic inbuilt function. We have to remember that also in the MATLAB. So MATLAB already has these functions, so you can't use this. Okay, you will get the error in that. So we have to check some existing. So if you want to check also, so you can have this command window help exist. So it will list out all the existing functions. So advantages of functions, how it works. So functions will allow you to break down the large complex programs into smaller and manageable pieces. So if you want to have the operations repeatedly in the manner, so you can't write everything inside the main function. So you can keep the definition of the function outside and you can keep calling them whenever required. Okay, so in that way, the function will look compact. Okay, also it will be helpful in the functional decomposition, also reusability and generality. So if you want to make the function general, you can have the main function separate and the basic operational function outside. For example, you can have a, a basic operations of the function. Suppose you will have the set of calculator, if you want to define the calculator. So you can define the multiply operation as one function, division operation as one function, summation operation as one function, and you can put as many input as possible, and you can call them whenever required. Okay. And also this built-in functions are also helpful for to draw a wide range of figures based on its input. So you can also have the plot functions. Okay. So yeah. Plot functions are very important. We will see this helpful function. This is there in that. So right now we have seen matrices, array, functions. Now we will see the fourth lesson. We will understand the programmers toolbox. So what is polymorphism? So polymorphic, the simple word is having multiple forms. So if a function can handle calls when the same input argument has different types, then it is called polymorphic function. Okay. So do you know what is OOPS concept? So MATLAB also follows OOPS concept, object-oriented programming. Okay. So in that, one of the basic function is the polymorphism. So what is a polymorphic means? It is having the multiple form. And if a function can handle calls when the same input argument has different types. So that is important. We will see some example. Okay. If a function can handle a variable name of the input argument, then also it is called polymorphic. And many MATLAB functions return an output that has the same shape as the input provided. Example, square RT. For example, if you put 4, it will give you the output as 2. And the same size input also have and an output also have. So this polymorphism is very powerful. So random sequence initialization. So when we start MATLAB and call rand, it always return the same exact number. As an exercise, you can try it in home. Okay. So it will result in 0.8147. So what is pseudo random? So pseudo random generator is initialized at startup and generates the exact same sequence of numbers every time. So that's why we also have this code division multiple access in the communication system. If you guys are not aware, I'm just telling you the basic example. In that, we use pseudo random generator to have the proper modulation at the receiver, to have the proper sequence at the receiver. So in that way, we use pseudo-random generator because it is initialized at the starter and it generates the same exact sequence of numbers every time. So it will have the bits, the same exact sequence whenever it is used, but it is initialized at the starting. So that is, so every function has its own application. Okay. So it is very important for testing and the program. Okay, that is very good. So what if you want to try truly random numbers? So initialize a random MATLAB pseudo random number generator with RNG. So this RNG, suppose we keep RNG, R is equals to 7. Okay. So this RNG, R is equals to 7, this will be remain constant. We will see some of the example. So in order to debug it, so it is easy to make mistakes as we know. So syntax error, the MATLAB catches this. Syntax error, it will put some syntax errors. The semantic errors are some may cause error that MATLAB can catch. Some may cause the wrong result every time. Some may only cause some problems occasionally, which is very hard to notice and find a difficult cause of it. MATLAB has an inbuilt debugger, which is the tool to help the find the errors. So inbuilt debugger, you can try built-in debugger. In this lesson, you check built-in debugger. You can use this to solve syntax errors, semantic errors. So these are very common errors. Okay, so we'll go to the selection. So we have covered arrays, matrices, functions, basic definition of functions, then selection. We will see the application of everything in the long run. That's not it. Sequence. So control flow. So what is sequential? Control. The sequence of commands executed one after another, that is called sequential control. Means you can't run the last command until the first command is executed. Okay, so the MATLAB interpreter is actually the sequential control, and it executes various commands and it is by default. Okay, in various programming languages this doesn't exist. Okay, but MATLAB supports sequential control only. Okay, so control construct. So this is actually a method. Method is also interchangeably used as a function. So method is generally used as a C++ uh, member functions. Okay, but in by MATLAB, this is also called as a method. So it is a method by which the interpreter selects the next command to execute. That is also the sequential control default. This is also sometimes we have to selection or branching. That is a control execute. If you want to execute in a control fashion, then we have to go through this statement. Okay. Now we have to come through the if statement, how it works. Okay. So most common selection construct is if statement. For example, this is the function definition. Okay. So we have seen, so it has, do this function have any output argument? No, it doesn't have. Okay. So when the function is called, it will print congrats, you guess my number. Okay. So if x equal to 2, then it will print this one. So the print statement in MATLAB is f printf. F print. Okay. Whatever written in the double colon, comma, it will be printed. Okay. And also if statement will be start with if, then end. Okay. So for every loop, you have to end the end it using the end keyword. So these, the predefined words are called keywords. Okay. That keywords you can't use as a function name. Okay. So you can't use this as a sum because sum already exists. Okay. You can't use that. So it begins with the control statement, which is if, keyword followed by the condition. This is followed by the condition. Okay. And ends with the statement that is end. Okay. So now this is a condition. You can put in the parentheses as well. That is not a problem. And if you are not putting also, that is not a problem. But in Python, you have to put with the column. But here you don't have to put the column. So function will be function output arguments, the function name and input arguments equal to, and you will have the if condition and some executable commands and finally end. Okay. So in between the statements to be executed and if and only if the condition is true. These are the controlled executions. Okay, this comes into a controlled execution. So this is how control statement works. So you will have some input, you will have the control statement, you will have x equal to, then it will block, then it will go down. Condition, if it's true, it will go here and it will go here. And if it is not true, if it will go directly to the end statement. Condition is false, then it will go directly to end statement. This red is showing the flow. So this is a very basic, but if else, what if the condition fails or you have a different condition? So in that case, you will have the else. So else also, and also MATLAB does not follow indentation. Okay, what does this mean? MATLAB and C++ doesn't follow indentation, but Python follows. So what does it mean? Even if you write here f printf, it doesn't matter. But in order to look the code proper, you can write little shifted the space. The space doesn't matter in MATLAB. Okay, so this means that space doesn't matter. Okay, so these are the basic things: conditions, if statement, if condition, then it is a block. Relational operators. Okay, so it produces a result that depends on the relation between these two operands. It can appear outside of the statement. You see this slide. Meanwhile, I can have water. So I think I can see there are 10 people. So if you have any doubt, you can just stop me. Today we are seeing how the MATLAB code is written, the basics of MATLAB, because we have enough time. In the next 1 hour also, we will see that. And I will tell you the basic functions which you have to remember. So that next time, whenever we write code, we should not depend like how this function operates. So we should know that, okay? So these are the relation operators. So it will check. Okay, so if it double equal to is mean whether it is equal to or not. Okay, so not equal to. This is a negation with equal to sign, and this is a greater than, then less than, greater than equal to, and less than equal to. I hope this is clear. So logical operators have two values. Non-zero values means true. Zero means false. And MATLAB it is only one for true. Okay, so you don't have to confuse it. Okay, so non-zero value means true only. Okay. even if it is written, suppose it is written if 1. So will it be true or not? It will be true. Okay. So if it is written f printf, suppose my name unknown. So this function, if it is called, so function, let's say, give the name as print name, no output argument. Okay. So this is way, and we have to fit n. So if the function name called print name, so by default, it will print unknown in the command window. So that non-zero value is always true. It will not go. If it is 0, then it will not print it. So it's not required that you'll always have this as an input argument. Okay. So how to combine logical values? So logical operators are there. So these are relational operators and logical operators are different. Okay. So relational operators produce result that depends on the relation between two different operands. Okay. But the logical operators are different that has a two values only, 1 or 0. So these are the logical operators and, or, and not. Okay. So truth table, you will have uh, false, false, and you also know this how and works. So and only works when you have 1. Or only works when you have only one value 1, then it will work. Okay. So this how relational or logical operators different. You should have the basic understanding. This depends on the two operands. Okay. But this depends only 1010 value. This is a double and double or. So truth tables also we can see 0, 0 and non-zero and all those things. Okay. Precedence revisited. You please remember this. Very important. So first we have the parenthesis, then exponential and transpose. So this is not odd, this is exponential. Then unary plus unary negative, logical negation, multiplication division, array. The last you have logical and logical or. Okay. So help precedence. If you put this in the command window, you will have all those things. By doing also, we will see if you have any problem. So what if we have the nested ifs? So if statement can contain the other if statements, that is fine. Okay. So if x equal to 42, else if this one, else. So you will have if, else if, end. Also you will have else and end. So, but make sure you're always putting end in the end. Okay. When this is if, so you are keeping another if inside this. Okay. And otherwise else. So end, only one end is required. Sometimes I used to get confused. If it is again else if, why this they here end is not required. But you make sure you have to remember this if is started only because of this if. So this if is ended, then no required of this if. Okay. Here's a reversal with nesting. But there is not the else if, so you will require the end. Okay. So suppose if is there, else you will have if, else, and then end. Whenever if is required, then end is required. But if else if, no end is required. I hope it is clear. Another version with nesting. So this is the ultimate question nested too. So suppose this is if x equals to 42, then else see if end is required. And here end is required. Let's see some polymorphic function. The functions that behave differently based on the number of inputs or output arguments, type of input or output arguments, and many built-in functions are polymorphic. Suppose squared, sqrt, max, size, plot. We will see these functions. That is very important to learn. How do we make our functions polymorphic? So number of arguments. So two built-in functions, which is nargin and nargout. So make sure you remember nargin and nargout. It returns the number of actual input arguments that that the function was called with. Okay. And nargout returns the number of outgoing arguments the function caller requested. Narg in and the nargout. Nargin and nargout. Okay, remember. This is important. So example there, multiplication table. For example, this mult table, and this is called for table and summa. So this is returning output as table. Two outputs is first one table and summa. So mult table with input arguments n and m. The function mutable returns n by m multiplication table in the output argument table. Optionally, it can return the sum of the all elements in the output argument summa. Okay. If m is not provided, it will return n by n matrix. Okay. So by default, if m is not provided, it will be treating as only n. Okay. For example, the sum is there. Okay. Let's see this function. So here, if nargin, but the number of input arguments is less than 2, so m is equals to n. Okay. But if number of nargout is equal to 2, then only you will keep summa is equal to sum of table of all elements. So sum is called. So sum means it will only take all the elements in an array form. So that's why the table is actually the matrix. So you are keeping all the elements. So that's why this means that keeping all the elements. And this table is 1 to n multiply with 1 to m. Okay, this is 1 to n multiplication. Here the multiplication is there. This is 1, 2, get to this. 3, m. And if you multiply this, this will be n cross. Okay, the values. It will be having 1, 2, 3, m, 2, 4, 6, m. Similarly, n, 2n, 3n, mn. Okay, will be like this. And if you keep sum, if nargout is equal to 2, then you are keeping. So in this way, nargin and nargout is used. Still students are joining. I don't know. It's already 1 hour. Why students are not joining now? So we have. Okay. From the next session, I will keep the by default setting that anyone can join without your permission. I think I'm admitting now everyone. Dr. Smita is. Okay. So in this way, Nargin and Nargont are used. Okay. So a function declaration specifies what is the name of the function, number of input arguments, number of output arguments, and the function code and documentation, what it specifies. It specifies what the function does. For example, it is specifying that this is giving the table of size n cross m. Okay. And also sum of the all elements. So that in that way, sum is used. And in this function specifically specifies how Nargin function and Nargot functions are used. Okay. So actually it is a robustness. A function is robust if it handles the erroneous input and output arguments and provides us meaningful error message. Okay. If something is going beyond that, so it should provide the meaningful answers. Let's see this function. This is very important functions. Let's see this. Now, if the number of input arguments is less than 1, so it will have the error as must have at least one input argument. Okay. If number of input arguments less than 2, it will show it that m is equals to n. Okay. And if it's scalar, m, it is not scalar, or m is less than 1 because m should be the size of the matrix, so it should be scalar. At the same time, m should not be less than 1, or if it is not equals to fix of m, suppose it is not rounding it off to some value. So m needs to be a positive integer. Okay. Otherwise, same n needs to be positive integer. And the table is defined the proper way. And this dash is nothing but a transpose. Okay, so we have seen the matrices array. So these are some of the functions dash also, and the column also we have seen. So how the column works, and there are some built-in functions that I'm going to tell you. Okay, so extra text is not part of. 1 second. Okay. So, for example, this extra table will not be added in the function. Okay. And some persistent variable is there, local variable, global variable, some persistent variable. So if it is a local variable, so its out this value persists from one call to the other function or function, relatively very rarely used, and none of the bad side effects of the global variables. So we will see the applications of these type of variables. So we will see, we have seen what we have seen, programmer's toolbox we have seen, selection we have seen, okay, 6 loops and 5 input output. So first we will see the helpful functions. So I'm putting in the screen, just give me a second. You meanwhile go through this function. So, okay, these are some helpful functions that you have to remember. Okay, so zeros means it will return n by m matrix of zeros. Zeros n cross n. Ones mean it will return one n by n matrix of ones. Then I matrix is actually an identity matrix, and it will have the zeros only except for the diagonal elements. And then rand. Okay, the random n cross n shows the random numbers uniformly distributed from 0 to 1. So it can have any values. Okay, these are some helpful functions, matrix building functions. Second, third table is for the uh, trigonometric functions that will return the angle in the radians whose cosine equals to x, angle in radians whose cotangent equals to x. So these are some basic functions. Okay. So angle in radians whose tangent is equals to x. So these are some basic functions for the trigonometric operations. Okay. So table 3 is exponential functions. So this will return the e raised to the power of x. So I will upload all this uh, in NPTEL Drive. You have to remember these things so that we will not have any issue while understanding some of the functions. So there are very helpful functions in the MATLAB that we have to utilize it for our purpose. So log 2x, log 10x, square x. The functions that works on the complex number, suppose absolute value of z. So it will have the value as a square plus b square, where a is the real part and b is the imaginary part. The phase angle of z, complex conjugate of z, z is a complex number, z is equals to a plus ib. Okay, real part of z. Okay. Then finally, some rounding and a reminder functions. So fix x that we were talking about, it should round x towards 0. Okay. Then floor means round x towards minus infinity. Seal, round x towards plus infinity. Round to the nearest integer. So fix and the round is different. Okay. So it will fix towards 0, but the round is actually to the nearest integer. So reminder is rem x by n. It will helpful for the non-integer n. Okay. Then sign, it will have the value 1 if x is greater than 0, or else if x is 0, okay, minus 1 if x is less than 0. Some descriptive functions are also applied to vector. So if we have the length, the number of elements of V, the maximum elements of V, the V is actually a vector. Vector means 1, 2, -1, 3, -6, suppose these are there. So max, min, mean, medium, sorted version of V in ascending order, standard deviation of V, sum of the elements V. Okay. So descriptive functions are applied to two-dimensional matrix. Okay, so max, largest element of each column. So there are two-dimensional matrix also there. Okay, so here you have to take care that whether the input is, that's why the polymorphic function definitions comes in the right picture. So here you can see you will have the input as either vector or matrix. Okay, so but the output is different. Okay, but here it is adopting to the different nature of the input. Okay, so min, again, the same type of things are there for matrix and the vector you can have. Also, you will have size that we were talking in the first document. So you will have the R and C. So if you want to have size RC, if you want to have first value, so you will have to keep like 0. Then it will give R. If it is 1, then it will give C. Okay, because anyway, this is a matrix. Output is only matrix. So if you sort this, it will sort in the ascending order. Sort is also very important. It will add in the ascending order. So sort is only adding in the ascending order, and sort n is acting the vector consisting of the columns with each column as ascending order. So here you will have certain set of functions. So we will go to the next part. So till now, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Now we will see loops. So you have seen the function definition, vectors, some basic built-in functions that is defined for vectors, matrices. Okay, so we will see some of the functions. Okay, so now we will see with the lesson 6. That is loops. The loop is a new control construct that makes it possible to repeat a block of statements a number of times. Okay, so we have already used loops without knowing it. For example, we have used 1 to 5. Okay, that means the increment itself is 1. By default, it is 1. So total is sum of n, then we can use actually. So MATLAB uses loops internally both to compute the result of the colon operator and to compute the sum of the elements of the vector n above. So it is actually the implicit loop. Now, semantic of the loop. So let's compute the sum of 1 through 5 without using a built-in. How will you use? So we have to first set total to 0, then repeat for n equals to 1 to 5, then add n to the total. Okay, this is actually loop because we are adding. Okay, then we have to print as a total. So basic is this. So if we go the step by step, so we have to set total to 0, then we have to set n equals to 1, then execute add n to the total, the total becomes 1. Okay, then how it is going? N is equals to 2. First n is equals to 0, total equals to plus equals to n. Total here is 0. When then n is 1, so total is 1. N is 2, so 1 plus 2, 3. N is 3, so 3 plus 3 is 6. Like that. Okay. So finally, whatever n is equals to this, we have to print the total. For loop. So MATLAB the implementation using for loop. So we will have the total as 0. For n equals to 1 to 5, total equals to total plus n. We can use using for loop also. So we have seen if n. Similarly, for and also there. Yeah, we can use using colon. Okay. So f print f total equals to this one. Parts of the loop. This is actually loop. This is a control statement. This is a body statement like this. Colon operator is not required sometimes also. So here's another example. List random values assigns a row of random values. So this is what is the output of this? 1 to 5 list. It assigns a row vector of random values. 1 to 5. So we'll have suppose 0.5, 0.6, 0.5. Some 5 values will be there. Let's say ran. Ran means 0 to 1. So you will have the values as 1 to 5, 0 0.1, 0 0.3, 0 0.4, 0 0.5, 0 0.6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So if for x equals to list, okay, this will by default takes a list. Okay. So if x is greater than 0.5, it will print a random number of C. If you want to use this, so this is actually modulus symbol. So here this x will be used. So this will be passed. So the random number x, whatever value is there, so it will go here. Why it is float? Because the type of the number is float only. So this is called modulus f. So that is x will go a small, large, or whatever it is. It will go it like from the x. So here we are not using colon operator. So that is here. Example revisit. Notice that we do not need a list variable at all sometimes also. We can also use for x equals to rand some values. And it is by default it is have 1 cross 5. So this is what. So observations are there. The values assigned to the loop index do not have to be integer, regularly spaced, assigned in an increasing order. It can be any value. Okay. In fact, they do not have to be scalars either. Okay. Any other control construct can be used in the body of the loop if statement other loops exhaust. Now we have seen if statements, for loop. Now third one is the while loop. Okay. So while loops, the for loops works well when we know the number of necessary iterations before entering the loops. Okay, consider this problem starting from 1. How many consecutive positive integers do we need to add together to exceed 50? Suppose. So how many things you will have to exceed 50? The only way to solve this with the for loop is to guess the large number of numbers for the number of iterations and then use a break statement. So we can't actually go like this. Okay. So in this case, there's a better solution which is called a while loop. So you have to understand where the application of for loop, if statement, and while loop exists. Okay. So while loop example. Okay. You have n total as a default, not default, but the output argument is a 2 output arguments. Okay. And the function name is post sum and input is limit. Now we are keeping the variables total as 0, n equals to 0. So while the condition is there, okay, while total is less than equals to limit, you will add. You don't need to require the number of iterations is this time. Okay, you don't need itself. But you want to know the number of iterations. In this case, you're keeping only one condition. Okay. While when this is happening, then keep n equals to n plus 1. Otherwise, total equals to total plus 9. 1 n. So you are also adding the numbers. So the total number of count is. So since this is integer type, so you're keeping d this is total, and this is also integer type, so you're keeping n. So for integer, you're using modulus d. For float, you're using modulus f. I hope this is clear. So while loop example also we will see the function n total. This is total, and example it is giving if they put in the command window. So your job is to check in the MATLAB. So today my aim was to brush your concepts in MATLAB, how to write the basic code in MATLAB. Okay, so that's why I'm doing like this. So while loop example is function n total, this is a total equals to 0, while total less than equals to limit, then this one, and finally this is the control statement that is the body, and the final one is the loop, as we have seen also already for the while loop, for loop and if statement. Okay, the general form is condition then block, then condition is block. So what is the basic difference between the while loop and the for loop and where it is used? So we have seen the example like where when we don't know the number of iteration, so where we can't put the exit statement itself. Like in the while loop, we kept the initialization, then less than equals to n, then I plus plus or something like that, right? So when the difference is the basic difference you should know, while condition is evaluated repeatedly, okay, when we have the repeated evaluation, and block is executed repeatedly as long as the condition is true. Okay, so logical indexing. So given a problem, given a vector v of scalars, create a second vector w that contains only the non-negative elements of v. So how will you do using function? Can anyone tell me? Take your time, but tell me. I want to have the answer from any of you. As I'm speaking on the last 1 hour, nobody is speaking. So anyone, please text the chat box. The problem given is, given a vector v of scalars, create a second vector that contains only the non-negative elements of v.
We can get the size of the vector and can then either use for loop.
Okay, you are telling about two for loops.
One for loops, because once we have the size of a vector, all the total vector v dot size, we can operate. And if there is any element which is non-negative,
You can keep in the next vector. That is very good. Okay, okay. So these things only I expect from you guys. Whatever we are doing, you can answer like this. Very nice. So I see your name also. Puneet. Nice. Okay, so we will proceed. As he told, we can have a size of the vector. We can have the log this because vector is there, then we can keep the size and we can get the size also, and we have to put in the for loop, and we can keep another vector, and we can put if the condition is there, then we can keep the elements. Okay. So traditional solution is this. Okay, length of v as we have seen. Then jj equals to jj plus 1 because we are keeping an index. Okay, the wjj is equals to w of I. Okay, so you are keeping w as some vector is an empty vector. Jj equals to 0. For I is equals to for every value. If it is there, then jj equals to jj plus 1. If I'm keeping the index of w, this is the index of w, then wjj is equals to v of I. This is the traditional solution. Now, MATLAB provides a more elegant solution. We will see now how. So we can actually keep w equals to w v of I directly as a value. So for every value, we're not keeping as an index value. Now we can actually append it. Okay, so this is actually the append. Since MATLAB only consider the every vector as a matrix and every output as a matrix itself. So this is keeping as a value. This is some value 0, then it is adding, then it is adding, and it's appending. properly. So in this way, 2 lines are reduced. Okay, 2 lines are reduced. You can see. So this is also there. And also another way is with only a single line, which is W equals to V provided with the condition V greater than or equal to 0. That is a more elegant way. In C++, you have to at least follow this step. Okay, this is the C++ step. Or you can say Python. You're having the indexing of V or W, then you are keeping as different directions. Okay. But the ultimate solution only needs one line. This is an example of logical indexing. So logical indexing works perfectly well in MATLAB. So understand why and how this works, we will introduce a logical array. But here you can see how can we use directly V where V greater than or equal to 0, or else we can have two arrays with the different indexes, or we can have only appending proper. Okay, the appending and logical indexing both works in MATLAB. So lesson 6 we have seen data types. Okay. So actually, what is the limitation of computers? So real numbers in mathematics can be infinitely large and have infinitely fine resolutions. Okay. So computers is actually a finite memory. We cannot have the memories like India, like human. So upper limit on the largest number can be represented, or the lower limit on the absolute value of the non-zero number can be represented. Give me a second. Hello. So the set of values that can be represented in MATLAB variable is actually finite. So data types of MATLAB has many different data types. A data type is defined by a set of values, set of operations that can be performed on those values. Okay. MATLAB has all the elements of a given array must be of the same type. Okay. That is the only difference between array and the linked list if you have seen in C++, that the data type should be same. That's why the class also comes in the picture. So, but here also we have the same type and it should be elementary type. Okay. The type of MATLAB array is defined by number of dimensions, size in each dimension and elementary type. We will see some of the examples. So numerical types. So we have double. Okay. We have seen this one, this one. For double, I think we will have L or something. I don't remember exactly. Format specifier we have to see for the double. Okay, so homework is format specifier for double. Floating point representation. So you can have this type also floating point representation, that is a Mentisa or exponent. This is Mentisa, this is exponent representation. So you will have 64 bits, that is 8 bytes, single 32-bit floating type. Integer is signed and unsigned. This is this bit long. Range of values. Int 8, it will have this many range from 2 power minus 2 power 7 to 2 power 7 minus 1. So int 16 will have the values of this one. Then they will have these values. You can have single or double also have values. So you can see minus 2 power 7 to 2 power 7 minus 1. Okay. Range of values again, this INF means that infinity and NaN means not a number. Okay. So this comes into single or double. You remember single and double. Sometimes you can also have multiple choice question on the basic MATLAB. You also remember this thing. But the range of values, how you will remember? You remember from this, like for 8, 8 will have 2 power minus 2 power n minus 1 to 2 power n minus 1 minus 1. But yeah, you remember this one also. This is different. U int is different. It is starting from 0 to 2 power 8 minus 1. Then 0 to 2 power 16 minus 1. Otherwise, int 8 is different. U int, unistring int, I think it is there. Unsigned. Okay, sorry. This is unsigned. That is a positive number. This is unsigned. That will not have negative number. That's why. And otherwise, if it is not specified U, then it is signed. Okay. So that's why minus is there. Okay. Single and double. Useful functions. Suppose class, then is a. So is a will tell you which type is. So is a X is double. Suppose you will put as in a command window X is it X is double type or not? So it will print true or false. Range check also you can put. So real max, suppose int max of this U in 32, it will give you the output of 2 power 8, so 2 power 32 minus 1. It should give the output of 2 power 32 minus 1. So conversion also there. Suppose name of the function and name of desired data type. So you can put explicitly X to be a type of int 8 and X to be a type of U unsigned integer 32 and X to be a type of double, etc. Here you are putting like the output will be the X will be of type of that thing. Okay, so operators also we have the arithmetic operators, the operands of the same data type, no problem. That will not have any problem. The different data types will lead you the mixed mode arithmetic, and many rules or restrictions will be there. So we will see that type of example also. So relational operators, as we have seen, different data types are allowed because it will be relationally compared, and the result is always of the logical type. Okay, so we also have strings. So here we were seeing of the operators. Now we are seeing the strings. Text is actually a string. We have used them already. Argument to f, print f and other functions. String is a vector of char s. So it will if you have char of any value, vector char of v, okay, that you are keeping as v. So then it will be string. It is a vector. So vector will be defined using this one. Okay. So suppose char v is equals to, you can have A, B, C, D. So that is a string. Okay. So this is a character. Numerical type uses an encoding scheme. Each character is represented by a number or ASCII scheme is there. So you see this thing. You have a look. 2-3 minutes. This thing. So, okay, so ASCII code is very, very important, and that is often used in C++ also. So American Standard Code for Information Exchange Interchange that is developed in 1960s. So what does actually represent, I'm telling you, that is a 7 bits, 128 characters. So you will have small a, capital A, then numbers, every characters that is a 128 characters will have the proper unique code that is called the ASCII code. Okay, so newer schemes with far more characters also there, but ASCII is a subset of some of them. So we can see actually in keyboard you have how many characters? In keyboard, whatever you will have that is having ASCII characters. Okay, so that is suppose capital A. So capital A ASCII has a value of 65, B has a value of 66, C and all. So small a will have the value of 97, B will have the value of 98, like that. Okay, C like that. And suppose null is a character in your keyboard that is having the value of 0. So what why I asked you to stop here, because you should remember these are some of the things that you should remember. How will you remember? So whenever you start 65 to Z90 for capital A to Z, and here you to add 32, then small a to Z. Okay. 32, we remember. 32 is very common number. Okay. 65 to 90 for capital A to capital Z. Then if you add every value to 32, then it will be small a to small z. And I think for other characters, it is not required. So you remember this 65 to 90. Okay. Now print out the visible character of the ASCII table. It can be one of the exercise. That is function char codes. Now you can here you can have the for loop from 33 to 126. So char of IA. So if you put char of ASCII value, suppose 33. Okay, so what it should put 33 is this one. Char of 65. It should print A. Char of 90. It should print Z. What is that? Char of 32 you add 97 should be A. So you always remember 65 to 90. If you add 32 here, you know K to Z. This is small a to Z, capital A to capital Z, just small z. Okay, F print F, this is small. So we have seen what is a basic funda of ASCII. Sometimes whenever the logic is required, so we have to go to the ASCII. It is very easy to operate with it. We'll see how to solve that problems as well. So string functions are there. Now I told you some built-in helpful function. So string functions are very, very important and super helpful at the same time. We should remember. So converts type to character. Find str is a find the positions of the substrings in the string. Suppose if it is asked given two inputs, find str is character, is letter, is space. These are the things. Converts number to string, length of the strings, length of the letters in string. It converts string to lowercase, sprintf, writes the formatted data to string. Compare uh, the strings, strmp, independent case. These are some of the basic functions of a string. Structs. Okay, we are seeing strings. That is very, very important. Now structs. So I'm just giving the basic examples and a basic understanding. Then we will use also. We will solve the programs. That is not a problem. Struct. So an array that must be homogeneous. Okay, but it cannot contain the elements of the different types, but structure can contain. Okay, a structure can be heterogeneous and it contains the multiple types. So sometimes in interview it is asked what is the difference between array and how can we improve the array. So you can use the struct. We can have different types of data types, int, uint, and float, different data types that we can have. Our structure is different from an array that fields not elements. Okay, field names not indices. Okay, that is fields not elements. Field names that is not indices. Fields in the same structure can have different types. Versatile inside also. Let's see some of the example. Suppose r.ssn. This is one of the value inside the structure. Suppose this is there. So SSN equals to this one. Class of R is start. Class of R dot N is double. Class is telling you what is the type of that. Okay. R dot name, that is one of the object of class. Suppose it is, I'm just giving the example. We will see also in the function code. That is not a problem. R dot name, that is your initializing that. So structure is this one. Name is this one. Suppose R you are printing. Okay. R dot address. Address के अंदर value डालो sheet. So you'll have this one. So you will have structure of this data type. Structure of the data type. Struct R. You will have SSN का type क्या है? Double SSN. Then char A. Then you'll have addresses. I think street. I think it should be defined here. it's not defined, but yeah, we cannot predict which seat it is talking about. But yeah, it will be like this. Address. This is again a struct. 1 cross 1 struct. We'll see that. Versatile inside. What does it mean? We'll see. A field of struct can contain another struct. That here also. The field also it contains another struct. Struct functions are get field, is struct, order fields. These are the some of the helpful functions. But pointers. How to store a page of text. Hmm? So each line should be a separate string. So what is a pointer? Pointer is actually a variable that stores the address of another variable. Okay. So address of another variable, what does it mean that? It points a variable, points another variable which stores the address. Suppose it is storing address of any variable. So it is actually pointing the variable that store the address that is storing. So that's why it stores the address only. So it cannot use array of chars. Each line would have the same length. So pointer, it's each variable is stored in the computer memory. Okay, so each memory location has a unique address. A pointer is a variable that stores an address that I was talking about. MATLAB calls a pointer a set. So you please don't get confused. Okay. Pointer is equals to cell in MATLAB. Okay. I think since you all are third year BTech or fourth year BTech or somewhat MTech students, so I feel that you have at least heard of MATLAB, sorry, pointer. So you don't get confused, that is a cells in MATLAB. Okay, so MATLAB has a restrictive pointer model. Okay, strict rules on what can be done with cells are harder to make the mistakes, but it is very powerful way to store the heterogeneous data. Cell array is used more frequently than structs. Use syntax to access data. Cell points to use this one, curly braces. So we'll see how to use it. Cell array example. Suppose this is cell. Okay. So it uses P is equals to cell 2 cross 3. So it has the values that is there in the computer memory because we saw it only have the values in the computer memory. Where we saw here somewhere, it has the value in the computer memory. So it will have the value as empty value. This is another array of cross 2 cross 3 that is there. Cell array example. Now, if you want to put the value P of 2 cross 1. So here it is not same as array value or the matrices value because there we had the indexing using this parenthesis, but in the cell you are indexing using curly braces. So we are putting suppose pi. So we are putting value as 3.14. Okay. Cell array example. Now, if you are putting value 2 cross 1 is pi, 1 is int minus 17. That is value of minus 17. That is a sign integer. It is minus 17. And like that you can have. And another value also you can have different. So here also cell is more frequently used. To have heterogeneous data. Okay. So you can see the size, this is the float, and again that is a signed integer. The value at first value is signed integer, and the third value is a string. Okay, you can have the string. This is having a string is what? Is an array of type character. So that's why you are just putting as a awesome. So here also you can have different values, 3 cross 2 double, 3 cross 2 double. Again, cell inside the array inside the matrix inside the cell. And also you can have some P of 2 cross 3. Then you can put another value based on another value. The value that consider that is there in 2, 3. You can have the some value in another cell. So here you can have many values. So infinity also you can store. So see, all the elements of the cell is initialized. Okay, in this way, cell is initialized. And if you put the class is P. So how you have initialized cell P? How did you initialize cell? Okay, P is equals to cell 2 cross 3. Then you are putting the values. Here you don't keep the data type as a first variable. You have to keep the equal to sign as cell 2, 3. Whereas in C++ and all, we keep the data type as first value. P is equals to cell. Okay. Now you can keep the class. That is a type of the variable. Yeah, so also we can use the indexing as array. So answer is 12 because this is 3 cross 2. So cell functions are also there. So whenever we start using all these functions, then we should become used to it of noting all these functions. So cell diff, it shows all the objects pointed by the cell array, cell function, all those things. Okay. I hope this is clear and we will use these things. So this is all about MATLAB. Last one is file input output. This is what I prepared for you guys for the first week. That is file input output. Okay. So file is actually the area in the permanent storage, that is a disk drive. I store the information I manage with the operating system that can be copied or moved or can be accessed by the programs. So how the file input output works in the MATLAB. So in the first class itself, second or third class, sir showed the configuration of the MATLAB where we had the command window, workspace, and the editor window. Okay. Also, at the same time, we also have the files. So whenever you download the MATLAB, you'll have the MATLAB as another folder where you can have several storage. Okay. So basically, the data exchange between the programs and computers, that is called a file input output. And data exchange between the physical world and the computer is also called file exchange output. So saving your works can be very easy. So you can actually continue it with the later. So MATLAB can handle MAT files and M files and text and binary Excel files. So you can have these many inputs in the MATLAB. Okay. So Excel files. So Microsoft Excel is actually widely used data analysis tool, and we can also have MATLAB does this with two basic built-in function, that is XLS read and XLS write. So for example, if you have to read this Excel file, so here you will have the built-in function as number, text, and raw. XLS read, this is the, and you have to keep in the directory, MATLAB directory, then only you can keep, then only you can read it. MATLAB directory, I hope you all know. Okay. So this is a numerical. So these values it will print. And also you can store it as an array also. And the values, suppose these are some different values, so it is keeping that the empty row it is keeping as n and then. So these are the some, because it is print, it should only read the numerical values XLS. So that's why it's keeping that. Text also you can have all data cell array. You can have this in the cell also. So that's why the cell is very important. So text files contain the characters. They use the encoding scheme, that is ASCII or any one of the many other schemes. MATLAB takes care of encoding and decoding. Before using a text file, we need to open it. Once done with the file, we need to close it also. So suppose FID, we keep F open, file name and the permission. So F close FID. Unique file identifier for accessing file. Permission is what we want to do with the file, that is read, write, and override and append. So these are some operations, that is read, write, open text file for reading, open text file for writing, or discard some existing options. Then open or create the text file for writing, append data to the end of the file. So suppose R plus T, open, do not create text file for reading and writing. So these are some basic file operations. So reading a text files one line at a time. Type prints the text file in the command window. Let's re-implement it. Suppose if FID is less than 0, then error opening the file. And suppose read the file as a set of strings. So suppose we have to get one line as F gets. So it will take the one line of the file as string. So again, it will f print f one line. So f1 line is equals to f gets FID because FID is f open file, the ID associated with the open file. So one line equals to f gets FID. Then again, it is going on as a loop. Okay, this is actually the loop whenever the character is existing. So you are reading as a set of strings. So f using FID also you are reading as a string. So you want to put as output also you can put. And at the end of the while loop, you are keeping the end line so that one by one it will get. Okay, I hope this is clear. This is super helpful. An example, if it is keeping the FID, then it is reading the file, and then again it is printing the every line. Again, it is getting the FID. Reading the text file, reading the lines into string variables is easy. Binary file is also there. It is not a text file. So for the binary files, you have these many permissions. Also, it is open and F closed. So you remember that you're opening FID and also closing it. So that is also required. Like with if statement also we started with if and end. While also we are started with while and end like that. So that is also important. But yeah, with the binary file, the different arguments are there. This is not a text. With binary, only R. With text, R, T. You remember like this. Writing a binary file, you can write also. Reading a binary file. So these are some file handling examples. How to open a file and all those things. So I think I have covered almost the basics of all the MATLAB program, how to write a code, how it represents. We started with the basics of MATLAB and why MATLAB, where it is different. So all those things we have covered. So for you, the helpful functions are very important. You please make sure that you remember the helpful functions. Lastly, I'm covering the assignment that should be asked. So yeah. I want to answer from you. MATLAB is a low-level language, high-level interpreter, or none of this? Please answer in the chat box. Anyone? Don't worry that if you're not getting anything, any guesses also fine.
Let's see.
Okay, high-level interpreter. Who answered? You can also text me. Text. Okay, someone told C. The correct answer is also C. So detailed solution is actually interpreter is a program that directly executes the source code written in a high-level language. It reads the code line by line, as we have seen also that will read the code line by line. It converts it into a machine-level instruction, execute those instructions immediately. Since it combines the characteristics of both high-level programming language and interpreter, then it is called a high-level interpreter. Okay, so basically, as we know that all of you are appearing for the exam also. So we should solve the previous year assignment questions very properly. So that's why at the end of the class, we will solve that also. Okay. The largest value that can be stored in 8-bit unsigned integer is anyone? Anyone? Puneet, your mic is on. You can tell. I think that type of thing we saw should be answered by you guys.
Option C, ma'am.
C. Very good. Okay, so what formula you used? 2 power 7 minus 1. Okay. Single precision floating point has a bit exponent and bit significant. What is this? Any guesses? I'm asking, even if you don't know, no problem. This is only first class. We will guess it, we will solve it, we will rectify it. Not a problem. Even I also don't know everything. Any guesses? Okay. So correct answer is 8. Single precision floating point has a 8-bit exponent and 23-bit significant. So detailed solution is single precision floating point has 8-bit exponent, 23-bit significant with double precision floating point. So it is actually a table that you can refer that you have to remember. So question 4 is which of the following is not a very valid variable name? Tell me. Yes, which of the following is not a valid variable name? Have you heard of keyword identifier?
We cannot see the screen.
Answer is C.
Scroll down. Okay.
Answer is C, you're telling. Are you
No,
sure?
we cannot see your screen. You have to scroll down.
Okay. I think I have scrolled down, but still it's lagging. I don't know how it is lagging, but I have scrolled down it actually. Still not moving.
Yeah, now it's moved.
Yeah. Yes. I think it was stuck. Which of the following is not a valid variable name? B. Very correct. So variables should start with only letters. It is not possible to start with the number. So I think answer is B. Now, a floating point number with all zero exponent and non-zero significant is, I think we have to refer that with the table. Still any guesses so far?
D.
A B you're telling. Denormalized.
D. Last option.
Achha. Not a number. A floating point number with all the zero exponent and non-zero significant is not a number. Answer is B. A detailed solution is telling us a floating point number with all the zero exponent and non-zero is actually a denormalized number. We have to refer that. I'll check this table next class. FLOP stands for
Floating
FLOP
point
stands
operation per
for
second.
floating point operation per second. Very correct. The floating point operation per second. Answer is saying a floating point. So is a measure of the performance useful in the fields of scientific computation that require floating point calculations. Okay. So next is a while loop executes the loop at least once before checking the condition. Is it true or false?
It's true.
True. It's true. How many
It's
of
true.
you agree with true? You can at least raise hand in the team. Okay. Executes the loop. Why it is not do while loop, right? It is a while loop. It will first check the condition, then only it will go to executions, right?
Correct.
It is the false. A while loop is a control flow statement that allows the code to be executed repeatedly based on a given condition. First, the condition should be satisfied, then it will be correct. So I think that should be clear. Then question number 8. Which of the following is a valid iterable for the for loop in the MATLAB? Tell me the answer. I think all of you can answer
All
this.
of this.
Yes.
All of this.
Answer is all. So we have seen the different types also, the list, then using colon operator. So we can actually go through all of this. Okay, very correct. So for the for loop is a repetition of the control statement that allows you to efficiently write a loop that needs to execute a specific number of times. So all of the iterables are valid. Correct. Question number. Okay, only 8 questions are there. Okay. So fine. So as you can see, we have seen the basics of the MATLAB and we have solved almost all the questions except 2 questions that I also will check and let you know. So I think this year assignment will also be very close to this. So since we cannot solve this year assignment, you can ask me the questions via my email ID. I'll give you my email ID and my YouTube link also, where I will put my recordings, and there you can have the different uh, different questions in the comment box. So I'm giving you my email ID first of all. Email ID. So meanwhile, you can have any question. Since this is the first lesson, we have still 6 more minutes to go. I hope you enjoyed the session, and we will definitely learn this course very well. And I really want that all of you please join the session every Saturday, 6 to 8. Okay, so I will give my YouTube uh, link also.
Hello. Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. Tell me.
Ma'am, I'm not able to find your this email ID. I'm not able to see it.
Yeah. I'm sending it.
Okay, ma'am.
Just a second. Yeah. Sending you both of the things.
Not
Checking
able to
with
see the
my-
chat windows also.
Yeah, I'm sending. Wait a second. YouTube. So as a compulsion, we have to post, we have to keep the recordings in the YouTube also. So for there, I have kept my channel also. You can check. This is correct one. Yeah, please find it in the chat box. My email ID and my YouTube link. Okay, you can join it, and yes, you can keep any doubts. We don't want anything to be left, and yes, we will enjoy the session. Okay, so any questions so far? You can have. We have time.
Can't see your email ID, ma'am.
I
Ma'am,
kept in the
actually, we are
chat.
not able to see the chat box here. I mean, the text box we are not able to see. We're just having people raise hand, react, view. That's it. We're not having your chat box.
Okay. I don't know
That's
why
why
it
whatever
is
you're
like this.
typing, we are not able to see it, ma'am.
Okay, shall I change the settings or what I have to do?
Yeah, it got to be changed from your side only, I suppose, ma'am.
Don't show the chat because I think it should be shown. Audio settings. How to share then? That is another problem. So you can't see the chat, and also you can't actually mail me also.
No, ma'am. We can't see the chat. Chat box is not there.
You can just
Chat
tell it,
box.
we will write it down.
Okay, actually,
Just
this meeting will end with the set of participants. Okay, so in my meeting link, I will add all of you and I will share the files, recordings, everything. So don't worry, because I'll have the set of students who are joining. So I think attendance also I have. So I have created a Teams link. So I will add all of you because I think you all of you would have joined with the email ID. I will add. So I will add all
Sure.
of you. So that is not a problem.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Any other questions so far? I would have to take it. So, okay, if you don't have any questions, so I'm ending this call. So we'll see you in the next class, next Saturday, 6 to 8. Thank you so much for joining. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.